All right, I'm really trying to keep these videos short, so I hope they're not going too fast, but I wanted to give you some options here. So again, the question is asking, what happens when you put -2 into machine F? What comes out, right? We've got an input, that's the -2. Now I want the output. So that's no big deal. Like, I know that -2 needs to go in the machine, but if you notice, there are two parts of the machine. In a function, when you put -2 in, you should only have one thing coming out. If you put this number into the bottom equation and the top equation, two things will come out, and that's a problem. So you're only allowed to put -2 into this machine one time, so you have to choose whether it's the top one or the bottom one, all right? And that's where these are so important. So normally we look at the equation first, but try not to. First, look at the restriction, because this will tell you which equation to choose. So they want you to input -2. So you have to think of x as the input. So the input that we have is -2. So just think, if I put -2 in for this and for this, which story makes more sense? -2 is less than -2? No. -2 is definitely not less than -2. Is -2 greater than or equal to -2? That part's true. So since this number makes sense in this inequality, that means we're going to use that equation which inequality matched. I can't use this one because -2 doesn't make sense for that equation, so I'm just going to erase that, pretend as if it doesn't exist. All right, so the equation is 5x squared plus 6. I'm going to take -2 and put it into the equation 4x. And then I will just substitute. So order of operations PEMDAS, I will do the exponent. -2 squared means -2 times -2, which is 4. And then I've got multiplication, so that's 20 plus 6, which is 26. So the answer for this is going to be 26, because -2 only met the requirement of this inequality, which means we can only use this equation. And by use this equation, I literally just mean replace x with the number that's in the parentheses, because that's the input. This represents the input, and so does this. So when you get to the equation, when you see x, you're actually just replacing it with -2. And that's that.